Yeah, it has begun. That's the recording.
Alright, it has
Cool.
begun. So, hello. We
Hey.
are
Hey.
doing a bit of a special. We are the Progcast. I am
Of course.
joined, of course, as always, by two other humans,
Two sexy
Mhm.
humans,
we-
really.
Mm-hmm.
one might say.
Right.
So we
Everyone might say.
we have a special episode today, as to go with the 13. Why do
Unlucky
people
number.
dislike 13? It's like a
I
religious
don't-
thing, right?
I genuinely
know.
don't know why people
on.
say
Why
It's
the
not on
unlucky number
elevators,
13.
I'll tell you that
Unlucky.
much.
Yeah, why is it not on
What's so
elevators?
unlucky
People
about
are
the number
fucking
It's
crazy.
the religious thing. It's like the devil or something like
Yeah,
that.
people are
And also
silly.
like Friday the 13th. That
Yeah.
type of
True.
stuff.
Yeah,
Sure.
but that would also be another reason, you know? Like, I don't... There's something attached to 13 and Friday the 13th. I don't get it, you know?
13 is just
Mhm.
unpleasant. But
Mhm.
anyways,
13 is
we
fucking
have
awesome.
we have we're taught we all recommended for our little picks the worst things ever.
Yeah, the
I
worst.
I hadn't seen mine. I just heard it was bad because I haven't seen enough bad movies.
Right.
But we picked bad
Right.
movies and bad stuff.
I
We
picked
tried
some-
to pick really bad stuff
Yeah.
for this episode 13, which we will get into later. But we have a
yeah.
bit to go through right now. Which this is going to be another time when Zane just kind of has to sit out because he hasn't seen any Oscar
because
films.
I'm not
Yeah.
as interested in movies, you know?
So
Right.
if you're a Zane head, you will not be
Yeah.
very invested for the next few minutes.
Right.
I'll put
I'm just-
timestamps
yeah.
in the description.
I'm just gonna
Mhm.
think
Wanna
about
skip
what
around.
movies I wanna, what movie I
Sure.
wanna
Pick
see.
next.
Mhm.
So we watched Cat. I just wanted to do, since the Oscars are happening tomorrow. I thought we should kind of I don't know if this probably won't be out by tomorrow, but as of recording, it's Saturday, 9:30. So
The day
before.
this is
Almost-
before. Yeah, this is day
almost
before the
24
Oscars.
Like 23-ish hours before the Oscars.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Callum saw a lot more Oscar films.
Yeah, I'm trying
and
to check
I saw
off a bunch of them.
Yeah,
let me
I've
go to
seen
the
most of the
list.
best pictures at this point.
I just haven't seen the ones that came out recently enough that you have to rent them for like $20 because I don't really want to
Right.
rent movies for $20.
Right.
But I've seen
Me
Mank,
neither.
which we talked about, Nomadland, Sound of Metal, Chicago 7, and Promising Young Woman for the best pictures. And then I've seen a bunch of others.
Yes, and
too.
that's like since then. So let's talk about the four besides Mank. Let's talk
Okay.
about those four.
What do you want to start with?
We can go from worst to best, maybe.
So, Promising Young Woman then?
Promising,
For
yeah.
first?
So we
That
both
movie was
watched.
not very
we
good.
both watched that. I gotta say, I love Carey Mulligan. She's great. She's great in Shame. She's great in a lot of movies, and I think
But-
she's definitely holding this movie together. Because
Yeah,
I do like
even
her
as little
in
as, I don't know.
this.
I
As
was trying to
poorly
figure out
written as it is.
what irked me about this movie, and I think what I realized about it was that it's such a very nuanced topic, right? Like it's a very difficult
Of
topic
course.
to talk about, and it's written so that everybody you're supposed to hate is like so on the nose you're supposed to hate them, and everybody you're supposed to love is so on the nose you're supposed to love them. Like it's so. I get it because I don't know. It just
Yeah,
felt
it doesn't have a
very
lot of depth.
bland. Like
sure.
it was so, and it's such a difficult. Like there's so much that goes with that topic that making it that bland and uninteresting is like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's
was
this
just-
episode show Barry that I really like that tackles the idea of chick flick films about women getting payback on men and
Mhm.
how
Revenge, yeah.
actually kind of trivializing they are.
Yeah, it just
And I
makes
think
such
it has a really
light of the
interesting episode
topic.
on that I really liked. But this
It's-
is
she
directed.
re-
Usually, those movies are directed by men, but this is directed by a woman actually, which is a little surprising. I guess
Yeah.
I don't
'cause
know.
it feels-
It's
Look,
bizarre.
obviously it's not my place to say, but I feel like it's a really, really oversimplification of what you're talking about. Like
Yeah,
someone else
for
put
sure.
it better than me. It said that basically it tries to girl bossify like this and just like
Yeah,
all this stuff, and it's like she doesn't even. this is just kind of like not really a good criticism, but she doesn't even really do much. She just kind of like spooks them and then leaves, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
and the pacing, and like aside from just the controversy of it, like the movie just isn't really that good. The pacing is really weak. It takes a
No,
really long
this.
time to even do anything.
Yeah, and this is
Um,
I don't know, like, this is just a
Bo
me
Burnham's in it
thing.
actually.
Yeah, he's
Bo
probably I
Burnham's
don't
one of
know.
the leads. I
He
like Bo
was
Burnham a
one of my
lot.
most enjoyable parts just
I'm
because
a big Bo Burnham
he's a cool
fan.
guy.
I saw two of his
Yeah,
I literally just saw two of his fucking shows like a few
yeah,
days
I saw
ago.
that.
Yeah, he's great. I
Yeah,
love Bo Burnham.
big fan of that
He's
guy.
I
great.
liked him in this.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
he was decent.
the
yeah.
twist regarding his character is really, really easy to predict, especially once
So
they show a
obvious.
montage of them like hanging out,
I know.
and it's
They
like,
treat
oh,
it
look
as
how
if it's
happy
like
they are.
some
It's
big
like,
reveal, but it's so obvious. Like the movie's
yeah,
just so obvious.
I
I mean,
like the
except for
kind
the
of.
ending. Oh, we'll talk about that after.
Oh
You
my god, the
continue,
ending
continue.
makes no
We'll talk
sense.
about that
But
later.
yeah, like he I like the way the twist is kind of carried out, like that the sense of like dread in that scene is good, and Carey Mulligan acts it well. But I mean, especially once you see a montage set to like happy pop music where they're like going
Yeah, it
around
was
doing
so
all sorts of fun
obvious. Oh
stuff,
my
it's like,
god.
okay,
Yeah,
this isn't gonna go well. Either one of them's
of
gonna
course.
die, or he's gonna turn out to be bad, or both. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah. It's
it
like
was
it's so oh,
took away
there's
the punch
actually
of it.
yeah, for sure. There's actually a lot of I'm just looking at the cast now, and there's actually a lot of actors I really like. Because Alison Brie is in this for a bit as well, and I really like Alison Brie a lot
The
too.
name sounds familiar. Who
Um,
is that? What has she been in?
She's on
she's
Community. She's on Community.
if you've ever seen Community, she's great in Community.
Yeah, she is.
I
Yeah,
like her a lot. I really like Alison Brie, and
yeah.
again, I think the actors are really kind of holding this together because they actually do a very solid job.
Mm,
Um, I think the
yeah.
performances there weren't really many performances that I was like that bothered by. I
I
liked a
think it's
lot of
just the
them.
writing is like hard to
The writing is
like.
just cringe.
I can't remember who it is, but there's a guy that like he's clearly meant to portray that nice guy trope and showing how that's just as toxic as like everything
Sure,
else.
yeah.
But he literally goes, "I'm a nice guy," and it's like, could
I
you didn't
know.
have to literally have him say it? I would
Yeah,
have
it's like
known even if he didn't say
we
that.
get what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
We're
it's
not
like
idiots.
that's so on the nose. But yeah, it's just
Mm.
I don't like how it's written at all.
Let's talk about the ending because the ending
Mm.
is like I was gonna give this movie like a 5 out of 10. I was kind of riding on that, but god damn, the ending is such like just to have like some random gotcha moment. The ending is
Yeah,
so
like
stupid and bad, and like it totally takes away
it
from
undermines
anything
the
that could
whole
have
point.
been
Like
impactful.
my thing, right, was even if you want like even ignoring spoilers by the way, even ignoring her like dying and not really getting any kind of revenge at all, the whole movie was basically saying, "Oh yeah, the system doesn't handle these things well. Like the school system doesn't handle it, the justice system doesn't handle it." But
Mm.
then the conflict gets solved by cops showing up, and it's like, wait, weren't
Yeah,
you just talking
yeah.
about how the justice system isn't doing a good job of this, and now you're like, yeah, the cops are here to save the day? It's like you just kind
I
of
mean, I guess the point is that she orchestrated it all, but it's just so dumb. It's just so fucking
yeah.
stupid.
Like
Like I
why
just
have it
can't
end
get
that
over how
way?
dumb it is.
Have her
I don't know
like
why would like I
at
get
least
that
have
it's
her
like
get the one thing
it's a
she
big
wanted to
twist.
do done. But it's like
Yeah, but it just feels like shock value. Like we're
mhm,
gonna throw in this really hard to watch scene, and then but it's
where she
just like a
slowly
gotcha
gets
moment, and then
slowly gets
yeah, like that
suffocated by
scene
a
is
pillow.
brutal,
What?
and I did think that scene was actually I think the movie is well directed, and I think that scene is properly brutal. But like it, and once you
For
just like
what? Like
completely undermine it with that ending, it's like what was even the
mhm.
point of that shock
Yeah, and
value?
it's like if the movie is supposed to the whole maybe I'm missing the point, but if the movie is supposed to provide catharsis for people who have gone through similar things, why have the main protagonist get brutally suffocated to death? It's like how is that,
Yeah,
it's just like
it's just
okay,
bizarre.
so she yeah, it's just weird. It's such a weird choice. It's like why would they decide to do that?
Yeah,
I guess it
and I
makes you
like
go, "Oh,
yeah,
wow," but it's like, okay, for
hmm
what? You know?
yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
I didn't like the way that was
Um,
handled.
yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, it's
No, it
well
was
directed and the acting is good, but oh man.
Yeah, I
Oh dear.
did not enjoy it. Should we bother to give scores for these since we're just kind of like doing them all really
Yeah,
quick?
I
Or
mean, we went solidly in depth there. So I would give this a 4 out of 10 probably.
I give it a 3. I really didn't like it.
Mm, yeah.
So which one
Yeah,
should we
we
do
can
next?
talk about I want to talk about Trial of the Chicago 7.
Okay,
Um
that one I understand why people don't like it. I did enjoy it, but I fully understand why you wouldn't. Like, I
yeah.
know kind of it's definitely lib shit, and I try to stay away from that or not fall into
Yeah.
that. But I don't know. And I've heard also
Well,
that it really misconstrues some of their political
oh,
ideologies. Like it
yeah, like it totally
has Abby
de-radicalizes.
Hoffman say,
It's
I think the institutions are good, just the people are bad. It's like, I feel
yeah,
like that's
and that's
not
not
what
what he said at all. Like it
at
totally
all.
de-radicalizes
Yeah.
everyone just so it can be more
Yeah.
um
Which
like, it's
actually, now
just
that I
and
think
that's
about it,
like
I
that's
really don't like that it did that
yeah,
because
it's
it
so
takes like,
disingenuous.
it
It's
takes
just
very, very progressive and forward social movements and it just kind of makes them like very safe and clean and
yeah,
sanitized. And it's like,
just
these
make it
guys are
like you
just,
don't worry, you don't have to think about this at all. It's very clear who's
no,
in the
there's
right and
no
who's in the
nuance to
wrong.
these. It's all, it's like, eh,
Exactly. Yeah. I
yeah.
think
So
like so Aaron Sorkin as a writer, he wrote The Social Network, which is a great movie. But this was just it's such he's not a good director for one. The directing in
mm,
this is really just bland and boring. And his witty dialogue is just it feels so unfitting for this for something that's like
yeah,
should
there
be
are some lines where it's like, why are you making jokes? It's like,
I
were
know.
these, they're like, I get the the two guys cracking jokes in court, even if maybe it's not realistic. It's kind of like, yeah, showing that, oh, they don't really give a shit about haha screw the system and all that. But when they're in actual like scenes of danger and there's like inactive riots and they're like making funny jokes, it's like I feel like nobody would say that. It just doesn't feel in
Yeah.
place here.
And it's just like it's just I don't know. I didn't find any of the witty dialogue funny. Like I was
A
like
lot
this
of it misses,
doesn't
yeah.
doesn't really feel appropriate to like especially just because of how genuinely fucked up and serious like the trial case was and just
Yeah,
how like
it's like you're
like it's
really,
so unfair.
like I said, you're really like making all this really severe subject matter all like squeaky clean for Netflix, and it's like it's
Yeah,
I know, yeah, I haven't
it's
really
such
said
a
anything good
line
about it,
moment.
but I
Like you don't have to think about it. You just have to
yeah,
like it's with your
which
political
sucks
belief.
because
It's so
it
clear.
could have been like listen, I'm only I don't want to get too political. Well, I know that's a corny thing to say, but like I'm not too knowledgeable on these issues. I'm trying to learn
Mm,
more about them, but I'm not 100% there yet. But like it's so like leftism and liberalism are obviously two different things, right? This movie
yeah,
takes these characters who in real life were very clearly leftists. Like there's actually an Abby Hoffman quote where he goes, "Yeah, I'm a
very
leftist."
far, like very
Yeah,
far.
and then you take it and you basically make them liberals, which is kind of undermines the point. It's
Mm,
like yeah, yeah. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. I enjoyed watching it. I liked it as I went. I probably couldn't really explain why because now that I'm
right.
talking about it, there's a lot of things that were stupid.
Mhm.
But I think if you somehow manage to ignore the mishandling of the original like material, it's not bad. It's all right.
Yeah.
They're
Well, I was kind of in that same mindset. Like it's a little bit corny and really just and like really like there's no depth at all. But like, holy shit, we're talking about promising young woman having fucking like just god awful endings. Talk about
this
fucking god
movie's ending
awful
was
endings.
really corny. Yeah,
It's
it's
so
like
oh
everybody
my
says
god. Yeah, even like
literally
and like
the meme
the
of like and
evil
everyone
the
clapped.
evil lawyer
Yeah,
guy is like everybody's clapping. Holy shit, that is just that's
yeah, it was
embarrassing for
really.
a writer.
And then
Like that's so bad.
yeah, it was definitely corny. But I feel like the way that they kind of like I said sanitize everything. That's
Mhm.
ending that corny is the only one that could have actually happened. They couldn't have had the
Right.
trial end earlier and then show us like the fallout as the ending, which would be more accurate to what happened. But they did the classic, just have the text pop up that says, "This is what happened next." You know, like this is what
Yeah,
really
exactly.
happened to these
And
guys.
that's how Aaron
They all got
Sorkin
screwed
writes like
over and
all
they
his
died.
movies.
Yeah,
But it's like
yeah.
it's just like so stupid and so it's like a Hallmark moment or something. It's like
Everybody
what is it
claps.
doing in a
Yeah,
big budget movie?
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
corny.
I
I
don't have
was
anything
definitely
else
like,
to
oh,
say
that's kind of weird.
about
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
now that I actually talk about it a lot, I might lower it to a 7 because when you really, or maybe even lower, but I might keep it a 7 for now. It was at an 8 before because when you really think about just how poorly it handles all these political issues, it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
kind of
It's
gross.
just it's very weak in my
Yeah,
mind, I guess.
I agree with that.
Oh,
I'm gonna edit this. Hold on. Okay.
all right.
What do you want to talk about
Let's talk
next?
about we got two more to get through. So let's talk about Nomadland.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have very little to say about. Um
Yeah,
I know you like it.
I did.
And
I enjoyed it.
I don't actually have that much to harp on. I just thought it was like decent. I think
Mm-hmm.
someone described it as toothless, and that's very much how I feel.
Yeah,
Like
there's a
someone on
lot of.
Letterboxd. That's very much how I feel about it.
There's a lot of like
Mhm.
someone else said this,
Yeah.
so I don't want to just quote it verbatim, but there's a lot of choices to like where they kind of sway from anything political when it's like this whole concept is political in nature. It's like a woman
Yeah,
who's
exactly.
living like this because of capitalism, and you're just kind of saying, "Oh, she walks through Amazon and she works there," and it's like very very vaguely touched upon that like yeah, this is
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a nice place to work, but they don't like they show her
But
kind of happy in there. It's like,
they even like everyone's happy at Amazon and everyone's having a fun
yeah,
time working. That
it's
was
weird,
weird.
which is like you know those like those bots on Twitter that go around being like, "I love my job at Amazon. My manager," so like it's that kind of thing. It's like it feels very weird that they chose to kind of shy away from talking about that stuff because it's like, isn't that what your whole concept is built on? And it's definitely exploitative too. Like it's very
For
like, look
sure.
at these interesting lives these poor people
I know.
live.
Like, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why it's like it's just I it's more about trying to be like how people live their lives, I guess, which I think is
Hmm.
a solid thing to explore. Like I
Yeah.
like Dark Side of the Moon explores that in a lot of songs too, and I like that kind of idea of how. But like it just politics, and I really don't like political movies, but politics are just such an important part of this
Yeah.
topic. So it doesn't make sense to be
Hmm.
so afraid
It
of
this movie
mentioning it.
feels like the phrase "I don't want to get political." Like that's this movie is like that phrase
Yeah,
embodied, because it's like you're pol- politics is in a lot of aspects of like society and the way the world works, but especially in this, especially in like poverty and wealth issues. So when you're just kind of gonna
yeah.
like ignore it like it doesn't exist, it feels very awkward. I liked a
Hmm.
lot of it though. I liked the kind of interactions between everybody, and I liked how it's you kind of drift from place to place and meet all these different people and they all have their own perspective on things. I liked that element of it a lot.
Yeah, and it's a very like the film matches her kind of how she goes about life. It's just kind of very free flowing, and
Hmm.
it allows for a lot of good like and interesting character interactions, I guess. But
Yeah,
again, it does
that's
feel
what I
very
like too.
exploitative at
Hmm.
times.
But those are definitely favorite parts of the movie. I think it kind of was a little less interesting when she went. Actually, no, that's a lie. I liked it when she went back to her family's house because it was kind of like solidifying
Mm,
the you know choice
yeah,
to
there's some really weak dialogue there about
yeah
about the Wall Street stuff. Like that was really weak and
when
like
it's
so
very
just.
clearly meant to be like her family thinks she's weird. It's like
Mhm.
there's no yeah, but there
Yeah,
was one shot I liked where it was maybe it was just kind of like meant to be super obvious symbolism, but her and her sister are in the middle of the screen and they both walk away, and her sister goes into like a her regular suburban house and she walks off screen, which I thought was kind of
right.
cool because it's like one
Yeah.
of them is choosing to stay put, live this kind of comfortable life. The other one is leaving and going God knows where, right? Which
Yeah,
I liked.
there's lots of really good cinematography in this
Yeah, I
movie.
like the camera work and it's
It's very
a
well
lot of cool
shot.
sunsets, which was always nice.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
a very visually pleasing film.
for sure. And I think the main lead she acts pretty well for the
Frances,
most part.
yeah, she was really good in this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to even mention that, but
Yeah, I liked her.
uh,
She is a good balance of being an actual character and also being a lens that the audience can see what's going on through, you know?
mhm,
Like I found a balance in the middle of that. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't really have too
yeah,
much else to say about this. I
same. I
liked
don't
it
have
though.
any real special feelings about it. I give it like a 6 out of 10.
I feel like it was around like a low 8, I think.
I think that's fair. Uh,
Uh, what's the
and
last
let's
one?
Sound of Metal, which is
Sound of Metal.
I did not expect your rating of this.
I
I was
really
not.
liked it. I
Yeah,
was like, I love this movie, man. I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Riz
Riz
Ahmed
Ahmed,
is really, really good. Like that goes without
his
saying.
performance is great. Yeah.
Sound design is obviously really, really freaking
Oh
good. Like
yeah, I mean what is it? The sound mixing especially is just is excellent. Like
fantastic.
the sound
There's
mixing is
like
so good.
even in the beginning before he goes deaf, there's like an emphasis on the tiniest little sounds. Like every
Mhm.
single action has a
Yeah.
very
And
detailed sound to it, so
how
that
each
when it's
sound is
gone,
layered over each other is so
yeah.
impressive.
And
Especially
so
I was
then
wearing headphones with this, like it
so
was
is I,
very
yeah.
immersive. I was
So
really
the
into it.
moment all that is taken
Yo,
away, it has so much
guys.
more weight because
Oh
yeah,
yeah, no, we won't go into spoilers
Yeah,
though.
don't go into spoilers, please. Yeah,
Because this is the only one you probably want to watch.
yeah, it's basically the
it's
only one I
freaking
actually
good.
want
Watch
to
it.
see.
But oh, we can't go into spoilers in this. I have to think about what I'm gonna say. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's just
yeah,
really good. I think my only complaint, if I had to have one, was the story is structured a little weirdly, a little like sometimes, but it's not enough for me to like it any less.
it's a little bit I'm not long, I guess, but I don't know. Like some of it probably could have been trimmed a bit. And I
Hmm.
thought some of the child extras were like really obviously not directed well. Like they're looking at the camera and like it was very like that was
Yeah,
bad.
but I think like with the in those scenes where he was doing all that, I had like a actual genuine smile on my face because it was just like so nice to see his progression and like everything that was the community that was so I don't know. It was hard to explain,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect to feel as much when watching it as I ended up doing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
me neither.
it was great. Really
Yeah, I
like you
agree.
think it's gonna be given how the poster looks, you think it's gonna be like a really like abrasive, aggressive film, but it's really
It's
kinda
actually very
quiet and
quiet.
tender a lot
Like,
of the time. Like yeah,
yeah, for
which I
sure.
loved. It was great. He's a great character. I can't remember the guy's name, but
Yeah.
very interesting portrayal of someone going through all that.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, for sure.
The ending I liked too.
Yeah, the ending is really great. The ending, hopefully, when Zane sees this, we can maybe have an episode about it. I'd
Yeah,
like
I'd
to
love to do
rewatch
that.
it, but yeah, like the ending is. I'm not gonna talk about it at all, but it's really really like very interpretable and really really just good.
Yeah.
It's a really
Yeah.
really great ending for a movie. I give it 8 out of 10. Good
I
one.
give it a low 10 out of 10, but still a
Yeah,
10.
it's a great movie, honestly.
Mhm.
It's the one I like the most out of
For sure,
all
yeah.
of the Oscar nominees.
And in terms of other best pictures, I have not watched Judas and neither of us have watched Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, or The Father.
Yeah, I really
So,
want to watch The Father. That
yeah.
I really want to see that.
It
But
sucks it's $20.
before we move on, there's like a little bit more. I know this has been like a very long segment,
It's
but
alright. It's going to be a good long episode.
yeah, I just want to talk about there was one snub I forgot to mention somehow. Um,
Mm.
but I watched this movie Never Rarely Sometimes Always,
That didn't
which
get
was
nominated for anything, right?
I know it's which was just kind of very surprising to me, because I think it's probably the best. Besides, I'm thinking of ending things. It's probably the best movie eligible um, for that like time period that I've seen. It was it was really great, and I don't know why it didn't get nominated for anything. That was weird.
Yeah.
Um, even just some small nominations, would have been good. So
Yeah, the Oscars
that
are weird. Like I watched one of the animated short films today. It was god awful, and yet it's up there for best short film. It's like what? Why?
yeah,
So yeah, the
yeah. A
sometimes
lot of
the
the
Academy
nominations aren't
question
that
good
really
choices.
that great. Two Distant Strangers too. Me and you both saw that.
Do you
I don't
want?
really. I took away my rating because after reading some reviews, I got some more like kind of perspective on it,
It
and I
was
kind of like get what
frustrating.
they're saying.
I don't. Yeah, it's
I
a. I
I
don't know.
didn't love it or anything. But at first I was like, yeah, this is all right. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I might have to rewatch it again. I guess I don't really want to though.
Yeah, it was kind of hard, definitely hard to watch, which I guess is the point. But it also felt very. I don't know the word, but it was just like, is this really the most constructive thing we can do for these types of issues? You
That's what
know?
a lot of people are saying too. It really
Yeah.
provides new, like really no new perspective or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. It doesn't give any new perspective. It doesn't suggest any new ideas. At one point, I thought they were gonna go like I actually thought they were gonna end the movie with, oh, all he had to do was talk to him, and I was like, are they really gonna go with that angle at like basically victim blaming?
The
But then
ending
they
was also
didn't.
really bad though. Like that was really
They
corny, and like
they
that was
didn't
like
do that. But then the
mm,
alternative was like kind of reaching no conclusion. So it was like, what?
he
I
starts
don't.
slow clapping and like, oh my god, that was bad.
And I didn't get like, does he know that there's a time loop? Like, is he like, is the cop like aware of it? Because he says see you tomorrow. It's like, is he like some
It was just
time
because
lord that's just choosing
movie.
to?
It was like
Yeah, it
some.
was. I didn't
It was
get what they were trying to say with that. Yeah, but
it
that
was
wasn't that good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it. I'm not gonna give it a rating at all. I think I just want to mention a few other things. That's all. But yeah, I think we can move on. I think we'll skip the other thing we
Okay,
had.
do you want to do it
Is
next?
it? Yeah, maybe next time. Because this is already pretty long. So let's just get on to
Okay.
the meat of
All
today.
right.
The big
Bad
meaties.
movie.
Hey, it's me
Mhm.
again. You guys
Zane's
missed me?
back.
Hey,
Did you
welcome
forget about
back.
him?
You guys missed me?
Yes.
Man,
did.
those
Sorry.
the Zane heads, man, they're losing their shit right now.
They're starving.
They're
Welcome
starving.
back, heads. So, for the terrible movies, I recommended one of my favorite movies, probably ever. I think it is hilarious. It's a pretty much a cult classic at this point. But is it 2011? I think it's
2011,
2011.
yeah.
Yeah, Love on a Leash. Which is maybe one of the
Holy
funniest movies.
Christ. Oh my god. I don't know. I was blown away. I was like, am I really seeing what's happening? Is this really like,
I
am I really
know.
witnessing this? It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, holy
This is
fuck.
a real movie.
It's pretty. I didn't even watch it a second time because I literally remember everything about it. It's that mesmerizing. That
Yeah.
like
It is.
I was just,
I was blown away that they managed to, like, every step of the process of making a movie, they managed to follow through with it. Like, all the way from somebody has the idea to it gets released. Like, at no point along that process was somebody like, screw this,
This
delete
kind
the
of
whole
sucks.
thing.
like nobody worked on the movie.
It's like, this is real. Somebody made this.
They,
A human being acted in this.
yeah.
And
I
a dog,
know.
too.
There's so many odd things about the movie, such as first of all, you can see on the poster that she's wearing a blue dress. However, the entire personality of her in the spoilers, by the way, her character is just that she wears green a lot. Another
And the
thing to
dog hates
mention.
it.
Another thing to mention is that the dog's voice actor and the person who plays the character is they're two totally different characters. Another thing, another thing another thing to mention is that even after he turns into a human, he doesn't say to her, "Please call me fucking Alvin Flang." He just says he's just absolutely fine with being called Prince now. Like, what?
Yeah,
My
like,
name is Alvin
going back to
Flang. So many hilarious.
My name is
quotable lines.
Alvin Flang.
there was a
There's
part
so
where
many
she's
of them.
like, we need to give you a name, and he goes like, yeah, Alvin Flag, and she's like, what? I can't remember exactly what it is, but she says it, and then she says something else, and he goes, yeah, Alvin Flang, and he says it so like
My name is
angrily.
Alvin Flang.
Alvin
But no,
Flang.
Nobody calls him that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Only he wants to go by Alvin
Yeah.
Flang.
And
It's
he
not
just
explained.
forgets.
Yeah, I watched a very
God.
insightful video about like how this movie was made. It's a movie, or it's a video, just an interview with the guy who voices
Is
Prince.
his name Alvin Flang? Is that why he did that?
No.
No, it's just so apparently what happened. Why there's so many just like lines like, but I do own a house in Switzerland, like all those bizarrely enunciated lines, right? Apparently, she was just like she was super specific on directing him how to pronounce lines. Like she was so like
Really?
strict on him and like forcing him to pronounce it certain ways, which is so
'Cause-
funny.
Honestly,
I do
the
own
way
a house.
I thought that I was like, there was a chance that I was watching a version where like some guy unrelated to the production of the movie edited his own voice lines into it because it was just such a
I know.
180 from anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, the
It's
thing,
not only
Zane,
like
the
they're,
thing
like,
you
two
mentioned
different-
about how it's a different guy. I
Mhm.
was like listening to it, and then I checked the cast list. I was like, "There's no way they did that." But they've
Mhm.
made the man version of the dog not only a completely different personality, but he doesn't even voice the
Yeah.
dog version of the dog.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Why
they're
is
two
there-
completely like not even that they're not voiced by the same person. They're just two completely
characters.
different characters.
Yeah,
like,
Prince is
they-
like a soft boy.
there's
and
a
he's
scene
really
where
caring.
he's like, the
And
human
like,
version is like,
Right.
"Oh, I love my wife."
He's just an
There's-
asshole.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the human version is like, "Oh, I have to protect my wife. I love my wife." 5 minutes later, he turns into a dog and he calls her like a pizza face cinder block. It's like,
Yeah. Alvin's
All right,
fucking
not a-
right.
the face cinder block.
yeah, Jesus Christ.
So weird.
Another thing to
I can't
mention.
believe this exists.
Another thing to mention
Yeah.
about this movie is the score. Oh my god.
Yeah, it
It's-
has
or
it
lack
has a
thereof.
fucking composer credit.
Yeah, at the beginning it says there's a composer. But
Did he
there's
just
no
sit in the studio and
Yeah.
for like 5 hours just
I
leave?
yeah, I was like
What did he
listening.
do?
I was watching it, right? And I was like, "Oh, is my fucking headphones fucked up?" Like when I just started the movie, I was like, "Where the fuck is the sound? Should I try like
It's just
replugging
no
in?"
audio. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even that there's no. It's not even that there's no like. There's no songs. There's no audio.
Yeah, there's no
at all.
audio
Like,
sometimes.
There's nothing.
Like
There are
they
moments where you
literally
just hear, like, the
yeah.
background, like
the
background
yeah.
noise that you just get when you film anywhere. But then there are also moments where they turn that off and it's just dead silence while characters like walk through.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then-
man, you couldn't
yeah.
get like a Foley artist on Fiverr or something to
Uh-huh.
just come in and like
And another
quickly do this for
another
you?
thing too is just that like they just whenever fucking the voice actor for Alvin Flang speaks, when they just cut all of the background audio. They just
Yeah.
switch
Yeah.
from one audio
whole
track to
thing.
another. It's like they don't know. It's like they don't know how to fucking layer things. Like
I'm honestly not surprised that the people who made Love on a Leash are not very fluent in audio mixing programs. That doesn't surprise me at all.
yeah.
But Jesus Christ, I don't even like. There's so much you could talk. I love the way literally nothing is explained. We don't know why there's like a voice in a pond that talks to the
It's like
dog.
just a water pond that's magic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then at the end when he's young, but then he looks at her and turns old. It's like, why did he turn old?
Yeah, like what? Why is he
Why not make her turn young so that they could, like why
Like,
have
yeah.
him just become old?
I don't
So-
like
We've talked about it a lot, but we haven't talked about the story yet, which there are like 100 different subplots going on at the
Mhm.
same
I
time.
mean,
Where it's
Yeah.
just,
wait,
there are so
let me
many
just quickly
things.
say this. This movie solidified for me. My least favorite fictional character of all time is Rita. I have never hated a character as much as I hate Rita. Just
Rita's
like,
the
Are so stupid. Like
Mhm.
she's her entire thing is she's pink and she's
Yeah.
a slut.
she's pink
And it's
and
like-
slutty, yeah.
if you were like had like a team of NASA researchers to try to make the most annoying human being that they could, they wouldn't even come up with Rita.
Yeah.
She's just like everything she does is
Mhm.
like I can't even explain it.
Rita
She's-
is just crafted, It's just it is
Yeah.
a craft. How the fuck do you do that? That is a
I don't know.
spectacle. It is a
they get mad at her
fucking
for such
spectacle.
weird things, like when they're like, "Oh, we'll go do the marriage license." why don't they just say, yeah, we'd rather do that ourselves. We don't want, we're just gonna go do that, instead of being like, I guess we're screwed. We have to reveal the truth.
Oh,
and her
man.
mom gets like so upset over it. It's like,
Yeah, there's the thing with her mom. There's the thing with the gay guy. I don't even know, with Kyle.
and
know.
then there's
This rapist guy.
I forgot about that.
Fights, and then there's like.
Yeah.
And then there's also Prince gets chased around as he's turning into a doggy by some fat lady. And there's like also
I don't remember that.
And there's this creepy guy who hides in the clothes. Like just so many
and then he like I guess it's all meant to show like, look, she can't find any good guys. They're all weird. Except
they're
this
all
dog.
weird. Except
the good guy is a fucking he's a beast.
Dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just so many like random subplots that don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how like her friend is constantly saying, "You gotta get a boyfriend. You gotta get a boyfriend," and then she gets one, and she's like, "I hate you."
No.
And then she gets mad because he doesn't tell her. It's so funny.
It's like, what is your problem?
Yeah. And she doesn't say you gotta get a boyfriend. She says you gotta get fucking multiple boyfriends.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Also, there are only 2 black characters in the movie. One of which is just a total slut, and the other one is just like a guy who hits a dog. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, you can't forget her best friend's like 6 kids. They all count.
Oh yeah, and
true.
There's also the movie producer who's trying to cast Prince. I
forgot about that too.
Yeah.
And for some reason she's mad about
so many
that.
characters.
There's
like
so many.
Guys, the
he's
talent
like, I
agent.
can make money by doing basic jog tricks, and she's like, no, I don't want.
And
you
he
to do
got
that.
a fucking
She gets in a
fat
fight with
stack.
him.
The guy got a fucking fat stack. He got like 10 grand off of that.
Yeah,
off of doing
and
little
she's,
fucking
upset.
tricks.
It's like, you don't have a job. What are you mad about? He's bringing home money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Why are you upset about this?
Like,
any sense.
yeah, it genuinely is just. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? But it's awesome.
Like, I was expecting it to be like, okay, haha, it's bad, but I was just like, this is beyond anything I could ever have thought of.
It's so just baffling in how terrible it is.
I don't think
you wanna. I want to
think...
sit down and like really interview the person who, like the director, just be like, why did you do it? What is your problem?
Can't.
The director died.
Yeah,
apparently.
the director died like a few years ago.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I can't get any actual proper source on this, but the wiki says that she died. I don't know.
In like 2018
came
or
to
something.
Earth to deliver us this movie, and then she vanished once again.
Yeah, I literally said when I said to Jaxon when I found out that she fucking died, I was like, she just fucking put out this fucking horrendous movie and croaked. And fucking croaked.
The effort that it took to release this movie killed her. She had to use all her brain power to shut down
all her remaining lifespan.
I honestly feel a bit bad because like I don't want to dog on.
What if she's alive though?
Yeah,
it was like because it came from the wiki, and wikis for these like weird properties are very often.
Which maybe I'll do, but like it's just such a bizarre thing. It's just it's just so.
But it is.
It's
the only word for it. Like I don't know, man.
I was genuinely not expecting this to be like a super low budget video or like movie because I had not seen this movie beforehand.
No, me neither.
I hadn't even seen a snippet.
Last time.
Yeah, I have not even seen a snippet of this movie.
Last time.
And
I watched this movie.
Yeah.
More times.
And I was like, I was just looking at the poster. I'm like, oh, this seems like just some shitty Hallmark movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the poster's so high budget.
Yeah, the poster's the only high budget thing about it.
The poster is very misleading. But
the poster is like the highest budget thing in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I bet the poster
half the
cost more
fucking
money
budget
than
I bet was spent on the fucking poster. Half the budget of the movie.
It's crazy. Also, did you know one of the people in this movie was also in the recent movie Birds of Prey, which is like a full budget real movie that got released, and this actor was also in Love on a Leash.
Ooh.
She plays one of the guy's moms, like the crazy obsessive mom. What's her name? Hold on. Frank's mom, Karen Taliha. She's in Birds of Prey, which I haven't seen. As hold on.
Oh no,
Shit, what's her name?
that's Green Girl's mom, isn't it? I think that's
No,
her.
no. It says
Is it someone else?
no. Yeah. She's in this. What's her fucking name? Hold on. I'm trying to check this so that I can back up my stat. She plays Nun in Birds of Prey.
Right, of course.
That
What
is
a
her
great mom.
character, and she was also in Love on a Leash. So you know what? She made it. She
Yeah.
found a
She made
career
it.
out of this.
Right.
So
Respectable.
you
I would
you
be.
can't blame her.
I mean,
Yeah, I feel
surprised.
bad for everyone who had their name attached to this.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
'cause you
This,
can never get that back.
yeah.
About how it's really bad for careers. Like people see her in Love on a Leash, you're never getting in another movie.
Yeah.
But
Like,
she managed
honestly-
to get in a huge comic book movie, so
Uh-huh.
there's that.
I
Yeah.
am really surprised
Everyone else,
that
though.
this didn't just like kickstart people's careers. Really,
hmm
this
The
was
guy
massive.
who plays the human version of Prince has not been in anything before or since, so he just kind of,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
makes you think he was like blackmailed into doing this movie. Because like, why else?
Oh, there's a funny story about this movie. Again, if you watch that video, they talk a lot more about it. But apparently, the director, to get funding for the movie,
What
said it
fucking
was, like,
funding?
not-
What is that being
Pardon?
spent on? What the fuck is the funding being spent on?
I have no idea. But she got the budget because she tricked like a church into like thinking that she was making like a movie about God and loving God when
Oh
it's
my
just like
god!
a movie about bestiality. It's like
Jesus.
and apparently that's what happened. And then once they found out, they pulled out budgeting, producing for it. But
Wow.
like that's what
The
happened.
money was spent on the crack, which went into making the ideas of the movie and the plot. That's what the money was
Going
spent
all
on.
brainstorming. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
That's
Again, like if you wanna know more, like just watch that video because it's genuinely
and also
really
watch this movie because like
Yeah.
This movie
It's
is
just-
genuinely so entertaining.
Yeah.
and in terms of how bad movies go, it's probably the pinnacle of all those like
Yeah.
funny bad movies. It is like
Yeah.
the peak of
It's-
all
This is
that.
the high.
The best so bad it's good ever
Yeah.
Yeah.
made.
This is no. There's the most contrast between so bad it's good, between the bad and the good in any movie I've ever seen. Any
Yeah.
fucking movie
Yeah.
I've ever seen. The bad
like-
is so fucking low,
right.
and
But
the,
also the
good
good is
is
like,
so
wow.
fucking high.
Yeah.
It's like it is a 0 out of 10 on the production scale and a 10 out of 10 on the enjoyability scale.
Exactly.
It is
Yeah.
fucking
It's so fun.
yeah. It is
And I
fucking
love
insane.
that this movie isn't even like a bunch of people on Letterboxd have made like the bottom 250 movies. This movie isn't even on there because it has more 5-star ratings
Yeah.
than half stars, so it rounds out at like a
It has
6.2.
an average of three out
Yeah,
of
that's
5.
an average of
Yeah.
3.1, and it's like just because of there's almost nothing in the middle, but the worst possible score and the highest possible score have like
Mhm.
tons of people that gave them both, so it rounds
Yeah.
out in the middle. Like
It's
wow.
great.
Mhm.
I am in love with this movie. It is fantastic.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yeah,
watch.
you'll never forget it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This movie.
I don't even know what else to say. Obviously, it's a half star for me, but in terms of enjoyability, it is a 10.
It is a
Yeah.
10 on the enjoyability scale. This
Yeah.
Full 5
this
stars.
movie is an absolute spectacle, and please
You have to
please
see
just
it to
watch
believe
it. Please just watch it. Oh
Mhm.
my goodness.
Yeah.
It would be a shame if you
Yeah.
did, for real.
If our one contribution to this world is making at least one person watch Love on a Leash,
Yeah.
Then I
If
will
we
be-
subjected,
That's how I wanna go.
if we yeah,
I'll be happy. I'll
if
be
we
happy.
if we subjected every single person in the world to watch Love on a Leash, I think that the world would be a better place.
yeah, because everybody would have seen the worst possible thing, so all the evils of humanity would be gone, because
Right.
everything else would just seem so little in comparison to Love on a Leash.
Speaking of
So
the
love.
worst possible thing,
Norbit.
Moving
Callum,
on.
would you like to explain
Let me
yours?
explain my take.
No,
take.
you
okay?
have to give the.
Okay, I'll explain the movie and then I'll explain my take on it. All right. I picked a movie that I hadn't seen at the time, but it was recommended to me as a bad movie. Eddie Murphy's Norbit.
It's a mess.
And I actually didn't hate this movie, but let me explain why. Because okay, would I go around recommending people Norbit? No. Would I say Norbit is a good movie? No. But I had fun watching the movie, right? So I was sitting there thinking, I can sit here and be all like film critic and be like, no, this sucks. But I was like, or I could just be honest and say, yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It's stupid, it's dumb fun. You don't have to think about it too hard. So I was like, yeah, it's not that bad because I had a fun time.
I get the dumb part. I just don't get the fun part. Like,
You just get into how, for me, I just got into how stupid it was and how ridiculous and over the top everything is, and I was like, yeah, isn't that bad in terms of that, you know?
I totally disagree. I just think the movie is an excuse to shit on someone to shit on marginalized groups of people and just it's totally fat phobic. It's really racist. It's really just funny.
It is I got literally one laugh out of it. One little crack. I was
never laughing because it's masterfully crafted jokes.
Can we explain our viewing process? Because on the Richter scale, this was a very successful comedy for me, but the movie didn't do anything. It was just, me and Zane watched it together. I rewatched it with Zane, and we were just playing like Vine thuds and "aw" sound effects over the entire movie.
The whole time,
which was a lot of fun.
Mozart and Mozart's Lacrimosa.
And we had the song at the end of Come and See. It's called Lacrimosa by Mozart, and we played that. And somehow every time we played it, it was perfectly well timed, and it was really really funny.
I just noticed you really took that bit to heart, putting it as all four of your top favorites and your number one ranked movie on the podcast.
It was really awesome, honestly. It was
guys, I've actually been being sarcastic this whole time. Norbit is a masterpiece. It is such an
You guys are acting like I gave it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a dumb movie, but I had fun watching it. Like, I'm not saying it's the peak of cinema.
Yeah, I get it. I had a good time watching it, but I
just don't get what's fun about it. It's just not funny, and it's just horrible. Like, it's just so offensive and abrasive.
Yeah, of course, but I mean, you get into like this. I enjoyed this just how stupid it was seeing shit like Eddie Murphy making dumb faces for an hour and being like, "This is a movie," and just going down a slide as Respucia. Like
one thing I do respect is that apparently Eddie Murphy played.
He played 3 characters.
Yeah, he played 3 characters.
Which is actually pretty cool, and the only reason that is because I actually didn't even notice, and that was actually
he was nominated for an Oscar for the I think the makeup of Respucia.
The makeup is actually and makeup
is good.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised that he played Respucia.
He played.
I don't know what's more offensive, like getting minorities to play offensive characters of themselves, or just Eddie Murphy making fun of them in his roles. I think they're both equally as bad.
It is just
on a technical level, that was actually okay.
Yeah. This had a budget of $60 million for anyone who doesn't know. $60 million well spent.
Made that very well back. So I guess good job, Brian Robbins.
20 mil on the movie, 40 mil on the cocaine.
Yeah. I don't even have anything to say about it, because it's just imagine just any other 2000s comedy and just
bottom
make
of the barrel cinema.
Yeah,
but
it is a god awful movie. I guess I can say the characters, none of them had depth in the slightest.
It's a
no. I completely understand. But I just want to say that it is so lazy. Even for a 2000s comedy, it is such lazy writing.
I don't respect this movie at all, and that's why I can't understand. Even if you enjoyed yourself, I just can't understand giving it a 6 out of 10.
Because I was thinking, I'm just tired of being cynical about everything and being just this is shit, this sucks, this being all critic about it, and I was like, I'm just gonna. I know this is probably gonna be indefensible takes, right?
The idea of supporting it is just fucking. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going out on the street spreading the word that everybody should watch
the
Norbit.
gospel of Norbit.
Yeah, I just thought,
That's Yeah.
I
No, you're
get
right.
this is like an indefensible take, but like
Right.
it
Yeah.
was. This is the kind of movie that I would imagine would be very fun to watch with like 3 friends at like midnight,
Oh,
and just
yeah. It's a good make fun of the movie, you know?
yeah, exactly. And
Right.
you're kind of doing a bit of that as you're
I
watching
have
it.
a lot of little nitpicks throughout it, but there's one really, really just surprisingly incompetent shot, which is in the final, whatever, 10, 20 minutes of the movie. But it's in the church, and it's what's his name? Tyrone Magnus. Okay, so Tyrone Magnus is like, "Hey,
Holy
pimp guys,
fuck.
can you stop?"
That is an
And then
incredible name. Holy shit.
yeah, he just plays himself apparently. So Tyrone Magnus, he says, "Guys, stop!" And then when they cut to a wide shot, he's just the continuity is so bad. He's just not even there.
Yeah.
He's just down, even though he was just standing far away from the seat, and it's just such a bad. It's such a bad cut.
He's in
It's such
2
a bad-
movies. Tyrone Magnus is in 2 movies.
In Blade,
Blade and
Blade.
Norbit.
Story of Love and Its Faults. Okay.
What?
So yeah, again,
The fuck?
yeah, I don't think it's a good movie, but I had fun, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
stand by that.
Don't give it a
Yeah.
whatever.
Don't
I
give
don't
it
want
a-
to
why not-
ratings, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I
I
know
don't-
you were quite upset about all that, but I don't know, like I just don't really care at this point. Like I'm just if I like it, I like it. If I have fun, I have fun. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I enjoy, like, look, here's the sitch. I completely understand that you enjoyed it, but I personally did not enjoy it. However, I did enjoy watching it because of the fun I had, attached to it. Because, like, I could not stand the movie. I was struggling not to just, like, hop on my phone because it was just so uninteresting to me. So I just like the only reason I pulled up the sound effect for the vine thud is to just like pay attention to the movie so I can just hit it whenever something actually like that warrants it happens. And that is the only reason I fucking paid attention to it, because I could not stand it as a movie. That's actually a fucking genius idea. I might do that.
The only other thing is, I'm gonna get off this 6 out of 10 thing after
Right.
this. But like, the only other thing is just like, so why, like, if you would give this a 6 out of 10, why don't you give like something like Love on a Leash a 6 out of 10? Because in terms of entertainment,
I don't know.
value,
Like I don't know. I
it
just
doesn't make sense to me.
Love on a Leash was funny, but like I don't know, man. I can't explain what it takes. Love on a Leash is the kind of thing that you watch it and you're just like, yeah, that was like. There's nothing I can objectively give that other than this, because like looking at it, honestly, it's a shit movie. But I don't know. Like I was thinking about it, and I was like going into that one expecting like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a half star, because that's what you do, right? It's a half-star movie. But then I was just like, I didn't think it was a half-star, so I'm not gonna lie. Like I know it's a shit take. I'm defending a shit movie, but it's like I don't know.
Alright.
I just
No, I completely understand it. I completely understand, Callum. It is just I enjoy a lot of shit as well, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to music. I enjoy a lot of things that I actually believe are terrible fucking music.
Exactly.
And I get berated. I get fucking berated by Jaxon for some of these.
Yeah, like Jaxon wrote
but I cannot help it.
paragraph long review
Yeah.
basically saying this guy is stupid. So it's like I fully understand it, but it's like
I wrote that like a week ago, but I think it is pretty
you
funny.
were just sitting on that for a week.
Good
God.
I only watched 40 minutes of it, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna rewatch it later with Zane, and then once I do, I'll post my Redemption Norbit review. But I do admit it may be a little bit scathing, so I apologize.
It's a little bit. The word is passive aggressive, I believe. But
it is very indirectly a response to Callum's 6 out of 10.
And also that, and me ranking it in terms of enjoyment higher than the Master, which I'm gonna break it to you.
That genuinely bothers me.
I'm gonna break it to you. If I the more I think about it, I would probably give the Master lower than I did, because like I think about that movie and I just can't think of anything that I really enjoyed about it.
Man.
So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I don't.
This
Well,
is-
I'm not. I said I would get off to 6 out of 10, so I'm gonna do that.
Other than that, I really don't have much to say. It's just a
I
really
have nothing to say. It's
Yeah.
just garbage.
it's just
Like,
it's
Yeah,
just
it's
garbage.
junk food
It's
movie.
It's all right. The way I would describe it best is that it is the 2000s movie that has aged the absolute worst.
Oh yeah.
Out of
It's almost funny
every
to watch just for how awful everything is aged about.
Out of every single 2000s comedy that has ever been released, it is by far the worst aging movie
it
that
is
has
the
ever been put out.
milkiest out of any of them.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is just the milkiest
Oh,
fucking
man.
movie. That is really good. I really like that. I'm gonna use
I don't
milky.
really know what you mean by milky.
It's
I-
like
I've
as
never
it
heard
ages
described
like
that way.
milk. As in it
Milk
ages
ages
like
poorly,
milk.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it
yeah,
comes
that's
what
out
you mean.
really-
Definitely the milkiest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
for
gotta
sure.
use that again. I gotta use that. That's really good. It's so milky.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Yeah.
so.
Really, there's not much to say about it for me.
No.
So let's move on to the final one,
Yeah,
which
the
I would like
final
to
one.
say before you introduce it is that it's very funny that it has 370 ratings and it's only liked by 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
introduce.
My choice was the album, the legendary Pink Floyd album released in 1969. The half live album, half studio album, 100% created by each. 100% of the songs were made by each member on their own in terms of the studio section. The masterpiece Ummagumma by Pink Floyd,
Which everybody likes.
which everyone loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do gotta
Yeah,
say,
not good.
Before we get into it, me and Zane, we read your review, and I gotta take a little bit of issue with it. Like,
The line about pretentious.
not even pretentious, because I can
Yeah,
understand
I can
that, but like
completely understand
the
that.
incomprehensible lyrics, I don't really agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very
That was more
comprehensible.
just to shit on the album, but in this case, they just say weird, like random shit, and
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't
for
mean
sure.
anything.
They were.
And it's like,
This
what are you
was-
talking about?
Yeah, this was progressive rock when they were doing stupid bullshit, and none of the lyrics really had meaning at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes you go on Genius and you look at a song like this and you see people's analysis of the lyrics, and it's like, you really, really, really have to stretch to get some of the like meanings that people
Yeah.
get out of these, which is and I tend to find that lyrics like that are used by bands like Pink Floyd, and it
Yeah.
really stands out here to me, you know?
I
like-
think even they would like even so Rick is the guy who did all the Sisyphus songs.
Yeah.
He's the keyboardist. Even he said his part of
Right.
of it was really pretentious.
Yeah.
He commented on
Yeah. David Gilmour. Yeah, David Gilmour literally said he bullshitted his way through the creation
It shows.
process of the
No,
narrow
yeah.
way.
Like, the
I
thing I wrote in my
actually-
reviews.
Narrow Way is definitely the best
Yeah.
section.
Yeah.
I actually I like
What is?
part 3 a decent amount. I
The
think the
Narrow
Narrow
Way.
Way section of Ummagumma is actually
Right.
the strongest part of the studio stuff. I actually like
Yeah.
part 3 a decent amount.
Right.
And part
Yeah,
1.
all I remember from it was like long stretches of basically silence except for like one instrument being tapped, and I was just
Oh,
like,
that's-
yeah, this sucks.
That sounds more like the Grand Vizier's garden party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
That
yeah,
is-
that's the thing.
yeah.
The Narrow Way doesn't stand out in my memory even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's good about it, is that it's
Yeah.
not so awful that like
Yeah,
you
it
remember
stands
It's
out.
kind of solid guitar work.
Yeah, it's
That's-
just David Gilmour making music.
Which David Gilmour is great, and he's
Yeah.
a great instrumentalist. so.
Right. He does
And just so
good
that
music.
people know what I'm talking about, the thing I mentioned in my review was that like I feel like Pink Floyd is always a certain degree pretentious, but it doesn't matter because the music that
Mhm.
backs it up is good enough. Like, it's really good,
Right.
so
Called
it
him-
holds up.
Time honestly, though. I don't
What?
I don't even agree with that. I know why people say it, but I just think people say that because they cover really broad and
Yeah.
like very.
But I find the way that they cover
Yeah.
those topics to be sometimes a little like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
But in this, you take away the good music that normally backs it up, so
Mhm.
you just have like just a album full of pretentiousness with nothing going for
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's when the
Yeah.
music starts getting pretentious. This Ummagumma is when you take Pink Floyd and you make the music pretentious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
and not just the
Mhm.
subject matter and the
Right.
treatment of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's so much shit that's like, why did you include that? Like, I'm not gonna say the full name, but several species is just.
I will
why
say
is
it.
that a song?
I'll say it.
I don't want to. It's like
Several
10 minutes to
species
say the
of
full
small
name.
furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick.
Several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick. I found out listening to that song that Roger Waters is actually the Pict, and you can hear him at the end of it. That is what
does
Shrieking and screaming like an animal.
Which is
Hey.
really cool.
That's fucked up. This song is genius. Several
It's not a
species.
song.
I actually, honestly, I do like. I know it's really really dumb, but I do actually. I think some of the noises are actually quite like
Yeah.
Bro,
good.
no way.
Really
Good
sounding,
noises.
I
on that
think
song?
it's interesting.
I'm not saying I enjoy several
Oh, yeah.
species of.
That song is
Saying
a
enjoy.
0 out of 10, and it is a collection of noises. It is not a song, but like
No, yeah.
it actually,
except for like the beginning part is a collection of noises for me. It's
in
just-
my opinion, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick has some interesting noises inside of it. However, it is
it's not
just
telling at all.
fucking I think the Narrow Way Part 3 is definitely the best off of the studio section, and my favorite song song overall on the album is Careful With That Axe, Eugene, which is
is a banger
Yeah.
track. That song is really really good.
it's my
the
second
first
favorite.
two, I barely remember the
performance.
first two, but
Yeah.
those are both the best because they're songs, and the rest are just like stuff and
Okay,
noises.
that Axe Eugene has like great build up. The scream is really cool.
Yeah.
I
I just love how fucking Roger does the scream,
Roger
man.
can do great noises with his voice. He's got a
Also,
lot
let
of-
me just say something really quick. You know, at the end of what's it called, Grantchester Meadows, which I really didn't like. There's like footsteps at the end of that song. I got so scared. I thought there was somebody like running into my house at full speed because it was like 11 o'clock at night. Everybody had gone to bed, and it's not like I actually thought somebody had opened the door and was just sprinting through the house. I freaked out.
Man.
But yeah,
I
actually,
think Grantchester
yeah.
Meadows is actually one of the more pleasant songs.
Grantchester Meadows.
I don't know. Something about it just like annoys me. It's like I can't remember any lyrics, but I remember the word kingfisher and the way it said, the splashing of the kingfisher. I remember that phrase, and the way it said just like grates my brain. I hate it. I don't know
Grantchester
why.
Meadows,
Pleasant.
in my opinion, Grantchester Meadows is not that bad a song. It is definitely, the length is absolutely, completely unjustified, for sure.
So many that length on this
it
shit
is-
isn't justified.
It does not deserve to be 7.5 minutes long, but like, I think
it's
overall
pleasant.
it's a pleasant track, but
I think the Grand Vizier's Garden Party. I think Sisyphus and I don't even know like each part.
it's
I think again, Arrowway is easily the best part.
right.
Roger's part is half okay and
Yeah.
half god awful.
Did they
you-
each
just-
do a part? Is that I don't know
Yeah,
anything of the
yeah.
history of the
Sisyphus
making
is
of it.
yeah.
So Roger Waters, which you may know as the main vocalist on The Wall, he did Grantchester Meadows and Several Species. That's his part of the album.
Right, yeah. Narrow Way was David Gilmour. Grand Vizier's Garden Party was Nick Mason's, and Sisyphus was Rick White. Right.
Yeah,
and
Sisyphus-
you know,
so-
you know, this is a shitty album where the worst part, or sorry, when the second best part of the studio album is a fucking drum solo.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
like,
meant to be.
I feel like
yeah.
the way that the live songs are kind of tacked on makes it feel like they listened to it and they're like, this is bad, and they quickly like just got some live recordings and threw them on.
We need to bring this back.
The controls for the Heart of the Sun, which I've never. By the way, all the live recordings are just other songs they'd already released,
Yeah.
but like studio release, but just longer.
Right.
Uh,
Just longer versions, yeah. Because that was
Version.
another very progressive thing that they did.
unbearably long. Saucer Full
Oh
of
my
Secret
God.
is okay, is good towards the end.
Yeah, at the
The
end. Oh my
Actually
god.
is pretty good. Careful
But
with that.
most
Actually,
of it is just nothing. Like Saucerful's,
Yeah.
the majority of that song is just like vague noises and shit. It's like, shut
Mm-hmm.
the fuck up.
Saucerful is just
yeah, most of it is boring.
Saucerful
And,
is
like-
fucking stupid until like the last like 3 or 4 minutes, and it's honest. And then at that point, that is like honestly one of the best fucking chord progressions I've ever heard. And it's a real fucking shame that like they just had to add it.
Everything
They
else
just had to
sucks.
add 7 minutes of just fucking banging your instruments.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was
I don't
what
know.
was fucking happening in 1969. What the fuck
Yeah,
were
like,
people
Hardy's
thinking, man?
Son.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
listening to it and I had liked the previous 2 songs, but I got to a point where it was basically just silence except for whoever was singing, just very whispering, like the heart of the
Yeah,
sun.
that
And it's like,
Roger
what are you
was-
saying? What are you talking about? Like, what is this? And
Yeah,
that's
and
the
I'm
kind of
like-
moment
I'm
where I
like
started to
other-
hate the whole album.
Mhm.
Right.
Like unlike other Pink Floyd albums, it really has no point at all. Like
Yeah.
every Pink Floyd album after, well, not every, but the big four and whatever
Right.
have very clear points and very clear concepts that they want to
Right,
delve
yeah,
into.
the-
Ummagumma is just noise.
Yeah. Ummagumma
Yeah.
is noise. Adam Hart Mother is actually an attempt at music, and they actually brought
I don't
back.
know if Mother's good.
Yeah, no. Adam Hart Mother was actually attempting to make like well-established music that didn't suck dick. And another
It's still
thing to
very
mention.
psychedelic, but it's actually quite good.
Yeah, another thing to mention about Adam Hart Mother, I'm getting a bit off topic. They did the exact same thing as the studio side of Ummagumma, where they recorded, where one song was each person's.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, actually,
I
yeah.
didn't know.
If
Tell me about that.
yeah, what you want me to tell about now or later?
We'll talk about later. Let's stay
Yeah.
on track. I don't know how much more there is to say about it because it's really just
Yeah.
it's not even like fun. That it's not even like fun bad. It's just kind of boring.
It's
most
just
of the time.
it's a lot of
very
boring
For
stuff.
me, I don't think you guys will like this because you both disagree with me on this movie, but this is like the music equivalent of I'm thinking of ending things for me. It's
I
just
never
like
said I like that
very.
movie.
Didn't you give it like a 7 after he gave?
Yeah, I gave it a
synopsis?
7, but yeah, I really do have to like go back and watch those movies because I know way
Yeah.
fucking more now about shit than when I did back then.
Yeah. But this is like the equivalent of that for me, where it's just very vague, floaty, dreamy noise that doesn't really mean much, or at least
Mhm.
to me doesn't really mean much, and just kind of is like.
Of course, I disagree with. But...
Yeah, I know, but that's
Right.
just for me personally. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Personally,
Speaking
yeah.
of that, I had an idea that I want to pose to you guys maybe
Uh-huh.
after the episode.
I
Oh,
think,
okay.
yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say. I do think there are actually some solid parts on it, so I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 10, like a low 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 10 because it actually does have decent moments in it. However, it
Yeah,
is
this
it
actually
is
a good show.
yeah, it is completely and utterly overshadowed by the amount of bullshit that has just been stockpiled onto it. Sadly,
Yeah.
But yeah, and Callum, your opinion?
Yeah, for me it's a 1 out
Yeah.
of 10.
That's understandable. That is like completely understandable for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also have just a lot of goodwill for Pink Floyd. This is just
Right.
and I respect that they got really
Right.
good after.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I
is-
was saying.
Yeah.
I find it impressive that they managed to come back and not only come back from this, but make some of the most critically acclaimed albums ever
Mhm.
after Ummagumma.
I think Pink
They managed to
Floyd.
come back that hard.
Yeah, I actually think that Pink Floyd has like the greatest 4-album run of all time. I think
Okay.
it is like
I haven't
actually
heard all this
insane.
stuff. I'm gonna
Wow.
get into it eventually.
Mhm.
But which four are those? Where are they?
Yeah,
Which are here?
Dark Side of the Moon to the
Wow.
Wall.
But
Yeah.
those four in specific are just
Right.
they're all
Yeah,
masterpieces.
they were literally on fire in the 1970s, and I think like out of any if any band, it's actually insane how how a band can actually make consistently good music for 10 fucking years straight. Like what?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
not fizzle out at
Yeah.
any point. Yeah.
Mhm.
is insane.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just crazy how they went from like 10 years after Ummagumma, they made like The
Mhm.
Wall. It's just
Right.
crazy to think about.
I want to
Yeah.
re-listen to The Wall. We haven't
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about it
we
yet,
should-
but I liked it. I
Yeah,
want
we
to hear
should
it
do
again.
that soon.
I think
I'm
we should.
thinking. Yeah,
I'd
well,
also like to
Mhm.
talk about Dark Side of the Moon because well, not re-talk
We did.
about it, but like I gave
Oh.
it an 8 out of 10 in that episode. I don't know what the fuck I was.
Well, this leads me into something I wanted to bring up.
right.
I thought of something you could edit this out if you want, but I thought of like something we could do down the line. We could do like a Redux episode where we pick movies or albums where we want the other members to watch or listen to again, like get a different perspective on it, and we talk about it again. Like we could do The Master or
Right.
Ending Things or Dark Side
yeah,
for that.
we
You know?
can do that like I think like every 5 episodes or something.
I don't
Yeah,
want
we
to put
could-
like a serious.
Yeah,
we
true.
have
Like put a number to it, but we could
Yeah.
we could do it every once in a while.
Every once in a
'cause
while,
especially
like,
since the
once we-
first episode,
yeah.
like.
about again.
Since
Yeah.
the first episode, I've gotten way more like into movies,
Right.
so I feel like I would have more to say about some of the stuff that we
yeah,
talked
once
about in
we
the past.
do,
You know?
yeah, once we do have like a stockpile of things that we'd like other people
Yeah.
to see again, which I think at this point we do. I'd like to, do that, and we
We've
can
got
do
at
that
least a
as,
few, yeah.
yeah, we can do that as a side episode or like a section. A
Or
segment.
we could just make it like a full one, because I feel like
Yeah.
we'd have enough new stuff to say about certain things, right? It would make
Right.
enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
I'd also
but-
like to go through, like I'd like to go through like a few, maybe talk about like a few albums or something like that.
Like in
go
one
through like
episode?
or something like that. I don't I'd
Like-
like or maybe between like two of us, since me and Zane have listened to.
Yeah, like we
lot
could
of-
do for one of a segment if 2 or 3 of us have listened to like an artist's full discography, we could do like ranking it, you know?
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
I'd like to actually do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like a good time. I like that.
There's a lot of ideas. We got
Mhm.
some big
Yeah.
stuff coming.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of new ideas now that we've really established things.
I think once we passed the 10 episode mark, it was like, okay.
Yeah. Now we
Yeah.
got the shit down, you know.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Right.
this is just about like the end. I guess we should give our ideas for what we want to see. Callum, by the way, you have the album this week.
Perfect, because I know what I'm picking.
All right.
Alright.
It's already been out for a
Okay.
few weeks now, but a band I like, Brockhampton, has
Uh-huh.
released a new album recently called, full name is Roadrunner New Light New Machine,
Mhm.
and I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm curious to,
Yeah.
because they've been kind of
Yeah.
evolving over the past few years.
Yeah,
So I'm picking them up.
I've been meaning to get into Brockhampton a little bit. I just
Mhm.
but I never really got around to it. I've seen
Yeah.
I saw them a lot, and I'm like, hey, maybe I should listen to this sometime. But I just never got around to it. So yeah.
I still think the Saturation trilogy is just a phenomenal group of albums. Those are insane.
yeah.
But yeah, I want to talk about this new one, so that's my pick.
I have an album. Or sorry, I've already picked my movie, which I came up with while you guys were talking about. While you guys were talking about shit. This is a movie that I've wanted to rewatch for a while, and I'm sorry, Jaxon. I know you're not a big fan of more horror type movies, but I'd like to see Seven or Seven in by sorry my dogs, yeah. This is Seven in by fucking David Fincher.
What is this?
All right.
Seven.
I'm not that scared. For it. I can.
Yeah, just this one. It has Brad Pitt,
yeah.
Morgan Freeman, blah blah blah.
Honestly, I haven't seen really any horror movies. Is this a horror movie?
It's more of a thriller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I had to pick a movie. I forgot I had to pick something. This is a very rare occasion.
Do you want to do Sound
I
of
might-
Metal because we talked about doing an episode or
of
something
Metal?
else?
I don't know. I don't think I want to really. I don't want to go that in depth about Sound of Metal, but maybe once Zane sees it, we can fully talk about it.
Okay, so
I don't know if I want to use my pick on that. I don't know. This is a rare occasion where I'm not prepared. So I think I will wait and just see what I want to talk.
This is an interesting development.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick anything.
All right. Well,
I'll
we'll
pick-
see what happens. It will be known in the next episode. But yeah, Overall, watch Love on Leash for sure.
You don't have to
Maybe-
watch Norbit.
Maybe don't watch
Norbit.
Norbit, and definitely don't listen to Ummagumma unless you are a big Pink Floyd fan, or you
Also,
want to
Your Honor,
listen
forgive
to.
me for my take on Norbit. Please don't hold it against me. I don't
You,
deserve
you've
this.
explained yourself, and it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not like I was like, "What a great movie," and I went and logged it and gave
Yeah.
it. Like that was not how that went down. Just so the record is clear.
Hmm.
You cleared your name. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, also follow our things.
Follow our shit.
us.
Follow us on Letterboxd, Album of the Year. You know.
Do that.
Ask questions, which has definitely happened before, and we're super popular.
Honestly,
yeah.
I want people to do that because
Yeah.
if we just get one question, there you go. That's the
Yeah, and that is
snowball effect.
Yeah, that is the snowball effect. I
I'm
don't know
gonna
what the fuck it is, but like,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, I think I'm done. Oh, there, banger idea.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about 2001. Oh, this
2001.
movie is
All right.
Yes.
We are talking about 2001:
for that
A
one.
Space Odyssey. This is gonna be a pretty
also,
high.
I didn't know this, but I think it's 1967 song. Space Oddity is based on the movie.
1969.
1969.
Yeah.
That song is an absolute banger.
Yeah,
that's
and
pretty-
listen to it.
it's great.
Jackson, I just realized something. I think for the first time in recorded history, we're gonna agree again on a movie.
Holy fucking
Anything
shit!
ever.
This
Isn't
is
that nuts?
this is
This
massive.
never happens, but I think we're actually gonna agree.
You're gonna agree on a
Hard
movie
to.
that doesn't suck.
You randomly change your take.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
He's gonna just immediately
I would-
change to
no.
a 5 out of 10.
That movie is too good. I can't.
Yeah.
I could never betray it like that.
All right. Well, I think that's the one really.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I gotta fix all my Norbit shit now because it's all at. I need-
Why did you do
No, why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that?
It's done now. I just did the bit for this episode.
Right. All right.
that? I was like, I went back and checked, and I was like, wow, he really changed
Wow, he really
everything.
did
to
that
Norbit. Like, I thought
yeah.
surely he wouldn't be insane enough to go through with it, but he did.
Oh, all right. Well,
Nope.
good time to go. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. I didn't end the recording. That's kind of funny.